Hello.
And
Welcome
to Film
Bastards. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome, people, to episode 492 of Film Bastards. I am one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and as ever, I am joined by...
Ian Loring. Hello, how are we all?
And Becky isn't here quite yet. She will be joining us shortly for Guardians and other bits. But we're gonna do the first bit of the show without her and see how far we get, and then she'll join us for that because she has watched Guardians and a little sneak peek on what we've got coming up. We have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And yeah, that was the big release this week, wasn't it, really? So we don't actually have much else, just some what we've been watching and other bits. Listen to our friends' shows, other Pod Syndicate shows, including Rewatch Project, His Film, Her Movie, Gaming Landfill, and other bits out there. Just listen to some nice podcasts. It's all good. It's all fun. Yeah. Ian, what's been happening in the movie world this week?
Okay.
As John McGrath has just messaged us, apart from Pedro Pascal being cast in everything.
Yes, indeed he has. There's no fucking way he does he is on set of The Mandalorian these days. No fucking chance. Can't be.
No, my brain constantly, it's like it does a reset with the Mandalorian thing, where people go, wait, if they say about him being in Mandalorian, my brain goes, he's in The Mandalorian. And it's like, I know he's in The Mandalorian, but the minute after I talk about him being in The Mandalorian, my brain just kind of goes, oh, we don't need to remember that. And then just resets until the next time.
Yeah, no, that's fair. No, I mean, like, God, I know he was on set and he kind of like had the helmet on and stuff for a bit in the first season, but I swear he probably just fucking zooms his lines or something these days. Because that's the whole thing with the Mandalorians. It's like it's a big thing for them to take their helmet off. So he's taken it off like once ever. So anyway, it's a whole thing. The writer's strike is biting.
Yeah.
So some films are shooting and TV are shooting, some aren't. Blade has been production's been delayed again.
That feels a little bit like they've gone, ooh, this looks like a convenient excuse we could use.
Yeah, it does. It really, really does. So, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I would not be surprised if they decide to just completely shut that thing down.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because apparently they've said it would be rated R, but hey.
But it's one of those, I think they have so much talked themselves into a corner with it without actually having really anything set in stone yet. That it very much is like they've spoken about it way too much, and it's like, right, but are you actually going to make it? Oh yeah, we're going to make it. We just need to find another director, and there's some more script bits to do, and there's bits to work out.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see there. But one film that is shooting, apparently from today, Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah.
So they are going to shoot that without the ability to do any rewriting on set, unless it's somebody who's not WGA affiliated. So I don't know, if Tim Burton's not in the union, then he could do rewrites, perhaps. But yeah, Michael Keaton's back. Jenna Ortega is playing the daughter of Winona Ryder, and Justin Theroux is also going to be in the film. They've been talking about Beetlejuice 2 for fucking years. Mm. So, let's see. Little bit worried it's just going to be fucking green screeny CG ahoy. But,
I'm. When I saw that they were doing a Beetlejuice 2, I kind of at first went, oh, you could not. There's that option as well. And then I saw somebody talking about Jenna Ortega in reference to it, and didn't know that was confirmed that she was cast. And my brain just immediately went, that just feels so obvious that it feels a little bit boring. I hope they don't do that. And then sort of looked at it like a day later and went, oh no, wait, they have done that. Oh, okay, great, cool.
Jenna Ortega's a fucking interesting one because, you know, she'd been in things. Lottie watches her Disney Channel show that she used to be in, Stuck in the Middle. She was talking to me about that only yesterday. And then, you know, she's in Wednesday, which Donna watched. And she's in the Scream films that I watched. So we've all got our own experience with Jenna Ortega. But that's the thing. It's like, it's weird. She has been in shit that appeals to multiple demographics. But she's also quite spicy with her takes, like talking about how she rewrote shit on set of Wednesday because she was like, Wednesday wouldn't say that. And like, I don't know, like there was somebody who had like a WGA picket sign up saying like, well, at least you got Jenna Ortega still, or something like that, you know, which is good. But yeah, I like her as a screen presence. I think she's good in the Scream films, and yeah, it is obvious. But hey, Tim Burton's got a working relationship with her, and she is the closest thing to a mini Winona Ryder as you would get in Hollywood these days.
That's it. It's not even necessarily a bad. That's obvious. It's just it's so obvious it almost feels a little bit lazy. And the problem that I've had with modern day Tim Burton movies is when you have the limitations of what you can do, sometimes that helps with creativity. And I think for Tim Burton is one of those, and I'd also throw Gilliam into that perspective as well there. People who were visually flair directors and visually interesting directors, not necessarily visionary directors or anything like that. What happened is once you gave them essentially enough tools to do whatever they wanted, it became quite dull and quite, yeah, that's not that interesting. It's often the bits that you can't do that make things more interesting. But then again, he did go back a little bit to more practical and more low-fly stuff in the, what is it, Mrs. Peregrine's something or whatever?
Yeah, sure.
That one. That I actually quite liked. So we'll wait and see on that one. I'm just a little bit... I can't remember the exact plot of it, but there was going to be a Beetlejuice sequel like a few years afterwards, and then it ended up not happening. I think Keaton was doing Batman Returns, I believe, and it sounded batshit. Like it was like Beetlejuice in Hell or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, it would be good, and you know, if they get stuck, maybe they can get ChatGPT to write some of it. I mean, it's one of the concerns of the striking writers is like, will Hollywood just start relying on AI? And you know, I mean, it's some crazy shit. You know, I won't get into it too much, but that technology is going to make a lot of people redundant or reposition what their work is. And I don't think I mentioned this on the show last week, but I think I was talking to you guys about it. I was having a demo of a company. Oh God, how do I say this without? Sorry, maybe I just shouldn't. I had a demo from a. We're doing some stuff at work where we're looking at different vendors for the thing that the systems that we maintain. I had a demo with a company that has a large financial stake in OpenAI, and they did a demo, and it was holy fucking shit, good and scary. And if you know, the future of what that stuff could do to everything is mind-boggling, and I get that writers are scared, and that's what I'll you know. So, but yeah, and honestly, that is one of the things that they're worried about, and I do kind of wonder if Tim Burton would be tempted to, you know, he's had a couple of bottles of wine at the end of a hard shooting day, he opens up fucking ChatGPT, and it's like, write me a scene of Jenna Ortega playing Winona Ryder's daughter in Beetlejuice 2.
You know, at some point, Soderbergh is going to release a film that was completely written by ChatGPT.
Yeah, I mean, so, yeah, somebody's going to do it though, aren't they? But that, I mean, it's fascinating though, because then it's like, well, who has the copyright to, like, who owns those words?
It's a very good point. Yeah.
You know, is it OpenAI? You know, is it the person who had the idea to put that into it in the first place? Do they have a co-writing credit? It's fucking fascinating, and you know, I look forward to my redundancy package. I've been with that company for a decade now, so I think I'd get a decent payoff. But yeah, no, I don't mean that. It'll be all right. But yeah, future of work. Anyway, that was a tangent. But yeah, so there's not too much else going on. Cannes starts next week. You know, not much is being like made at the moment. So like Stranger Things shut down production. I think Andor shut down
today. Yeah.
Yeah, Blade obviously. Yeah, I wonder what odds you'd get on Blade not resuming, not starting.
Yeah, it seems like this could just be like the excuse they need for it to kind of just go away a little bit. Right, should we chat some trailers?
Yep, let's do it.
There's been a few, hasn't there? Mm-hmm. There's one that's irked me. It's fair to say that we'll get into. So, Bird Box Barcelona.
Right, I didn't watch this because it's Bird Box Barcelona. Just no.
So,
no.
Am I right in thinking they've made a sequel to Bird Box, which was like, at the time, I'm fairly certain at the time, it was like the most watched movie, or watched original Netflix movie of all time at the time. And was like a big deal that released at Christmas, I believe, wasn't it, as well?
Yep, that's right.
They've released, what, 5 years later, a Spanish language sequel.
With the name Bird Box Barcelona. I don't know. It's like Tenet 2 Slovakia.
It is very like straight to DVD sequel. This, isn't it?
It's like a TV series spin-off.
Yeah.
Big Brother Brazil.
Like CSI Miami, CSI Vegas, CSI.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
I mean, that is what they're going to do. There will be a French one that is called fucking Bird Box. They won't do Paris. They'll do somewhere else.
Bird Box Bordeaux.
Bird Box Bordeaux, yeah, that'll be it. It'll be all the bees. Bird Box Berlin.
Bird Box Berlin. Bird Box Bangkok.
Bird Box
Brisbane. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh, I could do this all day. It's quite fun.
Fucking hell, yeah. Bird Box Burton-on-Trent.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's fun, isn't it? It's fun to say the burr.
Yeah. Do you know what? Fuck it. I go back on it. Netflix, well done, you're a winner here.
Bird Box Busan.
Yes. Oh, my... Yeah. Doesn't tell you a lot, really. It's just, like, a lot of people walking and looking at stuff, like, that's happening in the distance whilst holding phones and gently moving their phones away from themselves as they look in shock at what's happening in front of them.
Because what's the whole thing with Bird Box again? They just all go blind?
Yeah.
And then, are there monsters? Or is it just they're all blind?
There is monsters, I think. And it's if you don't look at something, you don't go blind or something like that.
Right, okay.
That's it. Nobody cared to actually enough about Bird Box to remember what it was about.
Okay.
And nobody's going to rewatch it. Because we all watched it the first time round and it's left no impression whatsoever.
Yeah. Fucking whatever.
Yeah. I'm a little bit like that with it. I just don't care. What else have you caught trailer for? Saw the trailer for Little Mermaid, like the full trailer in the cinema for the first time.
Oh yeah.
And The thing is, I hope it does well, because if it doesn't, people are going to say that it's because of the fact that, well, you know, why have you got a black mermaid? It's like, for a start off, mermaids don't actually fucking exist, dickheads. But the other bit of it is, it looks weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing is, a hand-drawn fucking an hand-drawn langoustine that can talk isn't weird. A photorealistic one that can talk and sing is a bit weird.
They released a clip of like a minute-long clip of Kiss the Girl online in the last couple of days, and yeah, just photorealistic singing sea creatures. That ain't it.
Yeah, it's very much like Disney have got wedded to this idea of remaking all of their classics as live action, for the simple fact that the technology exists, so they can. That means they can. But to use an adage, they never actually stop to think whether or not they should. And they really, some I think you can get away with. For instance, I still think that not enough is made of how good the Beauty and the Beast live action film was. That was really genuinely good. Whereas, and the Jungle Book one was okay, but this just it just looks a little bit crap, and I kind of hope it's not.
Yeah, I mean, the early words started coming out for it, and apparently it's all right. Halle Berry's very good. It's okay. Seems to be. It feels like it's going to be a very 3 out of 5 experience. I don't think I'm going to get to it in the cinema. That week we go away and Hypnotic's out, the Robert Rodriguez Ben Affleck film. That, just a little bit of show admin, that's got an Odeon Limitless screening next Monday that I can go to, and then that's that week's main review. Okay for me. Yep. Whereas, like, literally, we're going away on the Saturday. Little Mermaid comes out on the Friday. There's no chance I'm going to get to it on the Friday.
Yeah, I am totally okay with that.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, it'll be Hypnotic that week, which is fine. Run, Rabbit, Run. Sarah Snook, one Australian film, kind of looks like the Babadook, but instead of a Babadook, it's a girl pretending to be the mum's dead sister.
Okay.
Looks all right. Looks like it'll be all right on Netflix. Comes out end of June. Yeah, just looks very Babadooky to me.
You might avoid that one.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, don't blame you. What else we got? What's that Wesley Snipes one called that I watched the trailer for?
Back on the Strip.
Yeah. I'll watch this.
The thing is, I got about halfway through I got to a point in the trailer and was like, really? Come on. And then I got to the end of the trailer and went, yeah, I'll watch that. It kind of the first part of it's really good, and then when the kid's introduced, I was like, nope, I'm out. And then when Wesley Snipes sort of goes, it means I'm back in the game, I was like, yeah, alright, I'm back.
It looks like a fun Magic Mike-esque thing, like the second one was.
Yeah.
And I like it. Just fine, why not?
Yeah, that's it. I'm looking at it going, that movie is going to be 104 minutes maximum, and I'm kind of fine with that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Back on the Strip. Yeah. Oh, no, it's R-rated, and it's just shy of 2 hours.
Okay. All right. Right. New trailer for Oppenheimer.
Yep.
So I continue. I don't think this is going to do very well. And and I think it's a mistake to release it right in the middle of summer. I'm a little worried that Nolan being insistent upon gotta be a summer release, IMAX can't have anything else around it, blah, blah, blah. I really, really hope it's well reviewed, because if it's not, I think this thing's gonna fucking bomb.
The only thing I will say is, audience that I saw it with, everyone shut the fuck up once the trailer started. And it is the only movie that I have had pretty much everybody I have spoken to about movies, like work and stuff like that, mention and say they're looking forward to.
You said both those things last time round as well, and that's great. I can't sync up with it. It just, I don't know.
I think what I got from that trailer was, right, this trailer makes it look very serious. However, I think that the actual movie itself is going to be a shitload more serious and heavy than this trailer is. I think this trailer is quite jaunty for what the movie is actually going to be like.
But
I also have a but at the end that I got without the trailer. I left the trailer and I was excited for it and I was looking forward to it. But not as much as I have been for, as I was for Tenet, and not as much as I was for Interstellar, and probably not as much as I was for his Batman ones. I was just a little bit like, I know that's probably going to be really, really good, but I like it when Nolan is a bit nuts. Because when you actually look at Tenet and Interstellar, they're kind of a little bit bonkers. They're very high concept. And this kind of isn't. It's real world high concept, if that only makes any sense.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And it does. I mean, look, historical drama played out on just a fucking massive canvas.
Is it all IMAX as well again?
Yeah. That's a really interesting idea. I hope it's a commercial one. I really hope it's a commercial one. But coming out in IMAX a week after Mission Impossible, I wouldn't be surprised if the week up so you got the 1 week Mission Impossible comes out, it's all Mission Impossible all the time in IMAX. Oppenheimer comes out, it's all Oppenheimer all the time. The week after, I wouldn't be surprised if cinemas are a bit like, can we put Mission Impossible back on IMAX, please?
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
Absolutely. I think you're spot on with that one.
Yeah, I dearly hope I'm wrong.
What I will say though as well with that is Mission Impossible, apparently the budget is touching 300 million. Which is, and I think that movie's going to be fine. That movie is going to make its budget back. That's not a problem. But still, 300 million is a lot.
Is that for part 1 and part 2, or is that just part 1?
Apparently, that's just part 1.
Yeah,
There'll be some creative math behind that, though, won't there? You'll find that the first one will be like 290 million, and the next one will be like 17 million or something that.
Yeah, I mean that's it though, isn't it? Like if it averages out at 200 million a piece or something like that, in the end of the day, if the first film is good, they both gross at least $1 billion each.
That's it, yeah. I do think that's a sure shot to gross $1 billion, whereas I think Oppenheimer will probably sit at a steady 350-400 million.
Yeah, if Oppenheimer gets to 400 million, nobody gets their noses burnt, and if it's reviewed well, then it becomes an Oscar botherer. Like the Dunkirk effect.
Because what in Dunkirk? Because Dunkirk obviously was pre-COVID and everything like that. I mean, Dunkirk did over 500 million.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just one of the greatest dad movies ever made. And the thing is, Oppenheimer might be one of the greatest dad movies ever made as well. And that's not a criticism. No. I like dad movies.
Yeah, that's it. I am a weird person in the sense that I think people's obsession when people go, "Oh, I'm really into history," my brain goes, "All right, cool, you're boring then." I have no interest in that, but I also do really quite like films about stuff like this. So yeah, but like you say, it's ultimate dad movie kind of stuff. But in saying that, one of the people who keeps asking me about when Oppenheimer is out is my mum, who isn't a regular cinema goer. I'm fairly certain the last movie my mum went to the cinema to see was Dunkirk. No, sorry, she didn't. She went to see 1917.
Oh, fair. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's probably going to get that audience. Like I say, dude. I very, very much hope I'm wrong. Do I think the film looks good? Yeah. It's not selling me as a film coming out in the middle of July.
I do think September would have been a better time for it.
September, October, it would fucking dominate.
Late September, early October, like the Sicario point.
Yeah, would dominate.
Yeah, it does. It does seem strange it's coming out that close to Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
like a week. Like, give it a couple of weeks.
And I don't know. I do think Nolan has to be careful. Like Tenet, yes, okay, massive asterisk, but in the US, still, even in pandemic terms, made nothing divided by fuck all. You know, it did well worldwide, and that pumped it up. I really, really, really hope this isn't one where people are like, right then, Nolan, you've been burnt twice now, back in your box.
I think he's been slightly clever with it in a way of going, right, I'm not going to make a 250 million pound high concept movie. I'm going to make a, for his standards, a smaller movie. It's still $100 million, but for his standard, it's a smaller movie. And, there are a lot of sort of boxes you can tick where you're going to get people going to see it. Cillian Murphy is quietly, without everyone noticing, a fucking huge star because there's people, obsessed with Peaky Blinders. I mean, fucking David Bautista has a tattoo of Cillian Murphy on his leg.
Really?
Bautista's got a Peaky Blinders tattoo on his thigh. There was an interview with him where he was talking about his tattoos, and he was saying about the fact that he met Cillian Murphy and told Cillian Murphy that he had a tattoo with his face on his thigh.
That's got to be a fucking bizarre experience.
Cillian Murphy's like, why? And he had to explain it.
Man. Fair play.
Yeah. I think part of it was like a cover-up. I think it was a cover-up of the Manny Pacquiao tattoo that he had. And he covered the Manny Pacquiao tattoo up.
With Cillian
Murphy. Because Manny
wild.
Pacquiao made some very homophobic comments. And of course, Batista was raised by two mothers.
Yeah.
So he covered it up with a Cillian Murphy tattoo.
Fucking wild.
We'll get into Batista later on. But that man is a fucking treasure.
Yep, he is. Yep, absolutely. Oh fuck! I was going to say something else, and it's gone out of my head. I'm looking forward to Oppenheimer, but I wouldn't lie if I said I wasn't worried. Oh no, what I was going to say, it just times up really nicely. Just give Nolan Bond, let him do a Bond. It's 2-3 years of his life. He gets it out of his system. Everyone can watch a Christopher Nolan Bond film, and then he can move on.
It kind of feels, like it's going to happen. Just let it happen.
And, Bond, like Nolan doing a new Bond and kind of setting the template that then could be carried on.
Yeah. Giving Aaron Taylor Johnson as his Bond. He's already worked with him before.
Fuck, that would be great.
And just go, right, what do you want to do with it? Because he's going to go, I want to do something a bit bonkers.
Nolan being able to set the origin of this new Bond.
Yeah.
It would be lovely. I read something a couple weeks back where, apparently Broccoli's, sounding out Denis Villeneuve. And it's like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting as well. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I want Nolan.
But Nolan kind of makes sense more.
Yeah, and he's a fan of Bond, and it feels like back in the day where it was like Spielberg kept on asking to do a Bond, and they were just like, no. Fuck, just let him do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the timing feels okay for it as well. Oppenheimer's done. They can shoot next year. Get it out the year after. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I'm talking myself into it so much. I just want it really badly.
Yeah, it does seem like something that could be feasible in the future for sure. And doing the first new one back just seems like a good idea. Because they've got to announce at some point who the next Bond is.
Yeah, I mean, look. It feels like they've got to get on with it as well. Like, No Time to Die was already delayed a year and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was originally April 2020. Year and a half. We're now nearly 2 years hence from No Time to Die, which is wild, but we are. I was thinking about that the other day. It's like Fast X comes out next week, and Fast 9 was like a post-COVID reopening film as well, and we're already getting a sequel to that. Incredible how time's fucking off. But it has been fucking ages since they were in production on a Bond film.
Well, that's it. No Time to Die is 2 years this year, isn't it? Yeah. But then, effectively, if it's another 2 years to the next one, that means you're going to have effectively had one Bond movie in a decade.
Wild.
Because Spectre was 2015.
Spectre was between Spectre and No Time to Die. I think was the longest gap between Bond films ever.
Yeah, and you if you're looking at another 2 years, yeah, you're going to be looking at one Bond film in a decade, and it's like we knew that No Time to Die was going to be Craig's last dance as Bond, but if it gets cast this year, you're already 4 years down the line from the people that you were talking about playing Bond, being the new Bond when Craig said he was quitting. And effectively, he said he was quitting like a year before that anyway. So effectively, you're almost like 5-6 years down the line. So you're almost like 2 movies worth of time away from it.
And I can't. Amazon must be like, right, Eon Productions, yes, you're in charge of this shit, but Jesus fucking Christ, could you move? Because we spent a lot of money, and you're one of the key reasons why. Let's go. It's
I just think that now a little bit. I think Amazon forget what they own.
Yeah, but I mean, it's. I don't know. I just like when Michael B. Jordan's talking about like a Creed universe. It's like I get like a bit of a sinking feeling. And Bond's obviously got that fucking game show thing where Brian Cox is gonna be like the controller, I think it's called in it. And exactly. And it's like I really.
Did we make a joke about that?
I don't know.
I'm fairly certain we made some kind of fucking game show joke.
And it's like 007 Race Around the World or something like that. Don't get me wrong. I hate myself, but I'll watch at least the first one.
Yeah, on that kind of sounds a little bit fun. That sounds like the fun idea for that. And, they did that. They commissioned that Sounds of Bond little doc thing.
Oh, the documentary. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Stuff like that. That's kind of interesting, and you're having the money Amazon have got behind it, but also Amazon don't seem as proactive about putting money behind things as, for instance, like as Apple or Netflix or people like that do.
Yeah,
they seem to still trying to get me to watch the Jack Ryan series that's about 7 years old constantly.
I really, really want Eon to make something just so they can keep Amazon quiet for a bit. And also, it feels like they've had plenty of time. I do I do wonder if something's coming, whether if it is Villeneuve or Nolan, it's like, right, get your films out and then we'll announce.
Yeah.
Or we'll announce closer to when your films are coming out so we don't just completely drown you out. Because in the end of the day, if it was announced before Oppenheimer that comes out that Nolan was directing Bond, all anyone would be asking Nolan in the run-up to Oppenheimer are questions about Bond.
Yeah, who's your new Bond?
Yeah.
Who's going to be your Bond girl? Who's going to be the Bond villain? Where are you going to shoot it? Are you rating it?
And same with Villeneuve.
Yep.
You know, like it would be literally that. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's all of it is hinging on that. They announce him, they'll announce the new Bond at the same time. Just basically go, right, here are all the details. The film's going to be called X. It's written by Y. It's directed by Z. It stars A. You know, just really going for it. Yeah, I know, Kiki. I'm very excited for Bond as well. And sorry, you know me and Bond, so yep. I'll stop now. But yeah, but at the same time, as I said, when No Time to Die comes out, I also kind of feels like I've had my Bond. If it turns out it's going to be directed by some fucking jobber and stars some guy I've never heard of, and then I don't like it very much, I think my reaction will be, okay, that's cool. It's not like this one's not for me. I've got my Craig films.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit like that in the sense that the only Bonds I've ever got on with are the Craig ones. If the casting of the new Bond makes me go, yeah, I'm not that interested, I'm kind of alright going, I'll always have the Craig ones.
Yeah, no, exactly. But if it is Aaron Taylor-Johnson, then I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I would be intrigued by that. Aaron Taylor-Johnson in an either Villeneuve or Nolan or whomever. It's got to be someone interesting. I just don't want it to be a general jobber.
No, he looks like he could scrub up. He looks like he could still play a young Bond. He looks like he can fight, and he looks like he can fuck. Like, he does, like, tick all those boxes, apart from the fact that it's another white male.
But unfortunately, I just think you're going to get that. I don't think you're going to get. You might get a person of colour cast, but you're never going to get a female Bond. You're just not.
It's a red meat franchise, and if you know, there will always, from a left point of view, there will always be something to criticise about the Bond films because of just the nature of that particular beast.
Yeah, that's it.
And you can do things to assuage that, absolutely. But Lord knows you're never going to please anyone with that. So maybe don't do things that are going to alienate people. But at the same time, a black Bond would not alienate enough people to actually make a dent.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. It wouldn't at all. You know, if you know, I just don't think, because obviously, everyone was bleating on for that many years about it being fucking, what's his name, Idris Elba.
Idris Elba, yeah.
But he's just too old now.
Yeah, quite.
He's like 2 years younger than Daniel Craig.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like Henry Golding's kind of fucked it with what he's been picking lately. I think, to be fair, I think they've already set... oh, God, I swear I read something again a couple of weeks back. They were like, it's probably going to be a relatively unknown late 20s person or something like that, which I think was out there to counter the Aaron Taylor-Johnson thing. But if it's going to be Aaron Taylor-Johnson, if it's going to be Jack Lowden, you know, I can dream if it was going to be Henry Cavill. I'll deal with that. You know, I think Jack Lowden would be all right. He's all right in the Apple TV show Slow Horses. I watched the first 3 episodes of that, which is a sign of me actually being somewhat into a TV show. And he was good.
All I would say there is, if you're going to cast Jack Lowden, just cast Dan Stevens.
No, yeah, there is that as well.
And the thing is, anything I've ever seen Jack Lowden, I think he's been really quite good in, to be fair.
Yeah, quite. I don't. I'm not going to recommend Slow Horses to you because you don't watch TV, and I haven't even watched the whole thing. But it's not a bad show, that. Right. Anything else other than the big one?
No, I think it's just the big one.
Okay, so I'm just going to be the party pooper on this.
No, you're not.
Okay, cool. Right, the Meg 2 looks fun. Just calm the fuck
made a very good comparison.
down. Yeah, go on.
Go on, I'll let you finish. I think you're about to make it again. And when I watched the trailer, because I watched the trailer after you made it, and I was like, he's fucking right.
I know I made a comparison. I can't remember what it was.
Piranha.
Yeah, thank you. Right. Piranha, Alexandra Aja's Piranha, is basically like what this trailer is doing.
Yep.
And I didn't see people going, oh, this looks like it's going to be the most fun of the year. This looks incredible. This looks insane.
No, people shit all over it, and it was a really fun film.
This trailer is not that dissimilar to the marketing for the first one.
I genuinely, for the first 30 seconds of this trailer, thought it was a recap of the first one. Sure,
yeah. And look, it's coming out in August. I mean, very, very smart. Get out of the way of all the other ones. It's like, right, have a fucking dirty cheeseburger. And that's absolutely fine. And I'm very intrigued to see, like, but it feels like Ben Wheatley's just gone, fuck it, this will be a laugh. And I'm sure that is what this will be. But my God, is the Ben Wheatley factor factoring into some fucking people's reactions about this?
All this trailer made me do is, at one point, made me want to pull my own face off, which I'll get to in a second.
Okay.
And the next one made me go, God, I think I might rewatch Piranha at some point. That's a really fucking fun film.
Yep.
But it didn't get me excited at all for this, because it didn't even make me want to rewatch The Meg, and I remember kind of enjoying The Meg.
The best thing about The Meg is when at the end it says Finn.
Yeah. And the face pulling off bit is genuinely, right, when the writers strike, when they're sat around the table and they're getting all sorted, because they will get it sorted, right, some Hollywood executives have to say, or the writers, whichever one it fucking is, has to say, okay, final thing, can we have a moratorium on saying Apex fucking Predator? Because it has got to the point now where I am on the fucking verge of going, I'm going to fucking walk out of cinemas if someone fucking says it. Nobody said it 10 years ago. Nobody said it 10 years ago, and now it is said in like fucking 40% of movies. It's like if you go back 20 years, no one went to the toilet in a movie. Now it's in almost every movie somebody goes to the fucking toilet. Because some idiot went, do you know what? It never happens in movies. No one ever goes to the toilet. So everybody thinks that they should go to the toilet in a fucking movie now.
But it is one of the best bits in Babylon.
But yeah, fair. That's a fair point, that one. But just honestly, just please stop using the phrase Apex Predator in every single fucking film. It didn't even make sense in that trailer. Oh, that's the Apex Predator. What? It's a big fucking bunch of meh.
All they need to do is do The Meg, but 15, not 12.
Yeah.
That's literally all they need to do with this. It's actually a, relatively easy assignment there. Let's see what happens.
Just even having Barracuda over the trailer annoyed me.
I quite like just when it was like the guitar, like the riff. It was like it repeated. It was like, oh shit, they're doing Barracuda. Okay, fine.
It's a great riff, but Barracuda's an actual fish.
The thing is, right, Ben Wheatley is in a win-win here, because he, like, if people like it, he can go, oh, that's great, thanks very much. If people think it's shit, he'll go, that's what I was going for.
Yeah, that's it. And that is the annoying, it's the hypocrisy of fucking film watchers. They'll go, oh yeah, he was in on it. But other filmmakers can't get away with being in on it. Their movies are just stupid.
Yeah.
And I am talking about Moonshot.
Which one's Moonshot?
The
Moonfall.
Moonfall. That movie, stupid. Oh, it's fun, it's silly, but it's stupid. I'm pretty sure Emmerich knows it's fucking stupid. He filmed a scene where the moon creeps up on people.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you remember that bit where it looked like the moon was creeping up on him?
Fucking beautiful. But yeah, but Wheaton can do it, and it's just, oh, he's in on the joke. Is he though? It's basically it's the reason why Nick Cage can never make a good or a bad movie.
But hey, look, comes out in August. August is kind of like secretly a bit of a treat of a month. We got that. We got The Last Voyage of the Demeter, Gran Turismo, Haunted Mansion. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun stuff you can go and see in the day.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. There we are. We're getting a lot of mileage out of trailers at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's because they're ramping them up for the big solo ones. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
For the first time in a few years, it feels like we're on a good trailer cadence.
Yes, yeah, like things have settled.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Right, I need to go for a pee if that's all right.
That's cool. I'm going to grab another drink.
And to be fair, if it's not all right, fuck you. 'Cause I'm going for a pee.
I'm still going to go.
Yeah. We're back in a sec.
CS3P Combat. Player 1, choose your character.
Tired of film and television podcasts where the hosts exist in a blissful state of agreement?
Instructor. Player 2, choose your character.
Well, you're in luck.
Punter. Round 1, fight!
Allow me to introduce you to the Chinstroker vs. Punter podcast, featuring two film and television fans from Birmingham, England, who enjoy their media in very different ways.
But anyway, that brings us to the end of the plot of Blue Velvet.
The plot. I mean, the main characters are two of the dullest main characters I have ever encountered in any film.
So join us as we catch up on what we've been watching from our own very different perspectives.
Double KO. Round 2, fight!
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com, also on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, all the places that podcasts can be found.
Just really
It's not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just in That's the third time, though. I mean, is this on?
So,
Cool.
Ian,
Yep.
what have you been up to?
So, been on a bit more of a film kick. I played about 5 hours of Call of Duty World War II and then nuked it from orbit, thinking I could just play this all day and not do anything else, and that's really scary.
What's that then? Because that sounds more like the sort of war games that I like.
So, Call of Duty World War II is just... It's a very, very compelling, cinematically styled war simulator. Which, I mean... Is
it a new one or is it a...
No, it's from years ago, but I had it on PlayStation Plus back in the day. Sorry, I'm just going to get my phone because I've forgotten my letterboxd stuff. And no, I mean, it's basically just like a single-player campaign where you're going through various bits of World War II. You know, it starts with the beaches of Normandy, and it kind of goes on from there. And it's, I don't know, it feels very, very weird being in a real-world war setting and playing it as a video game. And like getting health packs and stuff like that. It's just very, very odd.
It is a little bit, yeah. I mean, I think I said last week the last games that I kind of like that I remember playing were the Medal of Honor series, which were like the precursors to these. And yeah, once they moved away from like the gradual thing was Medal of Honor, then moved into like Modern Warfare, which then became COD, I think, and then it's moved on from there.
Yeah, it's like I say. I mean, like I was really enjoying it, but I just it's that thing with video games with me. It's just like they take up too much mind share. Like if I didn't have any other interests, then or like responsibilities, like all I would probably do is video games. Like I find them like genuinely quite scary at times with that. Like the new Zelda. I want to play it, but I really don't want to play it.
It's
like
I can completely see your point. Yeah, it's like it's the time vacuum thing. Is when you start a movie, for instance, just talking about like one of the films that I'm going to talk about later, Roadhouse, for instance. I'm going to say next. I've got it in front of me. If I start watching Roadhouse and I want to watch Roadhouse, or watch a movie and that's what I've picked, basically, I'm there for 114 minutes and I'm going to watch Roadhouse. There we go. If I start that at 10, I'm going to be finished by midnight, and that's okay. Whereas with gaming, if you sit down and start gaming at 10, it's so easy to still be there at 2.
That's exactly it, dude. Like literally, Bank Holiday Monday, I must have played it for like 4 or 5 hours. And it's just that there are other things, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't to like the detriment of my family. Like they were perfectly fine with me playing it, but it's like I could easily do that over pretty much anything else. Like, I'll be honest, do I find video games more compelling than films? Yes, but they're longer and they're bigger. There's more to them. And that, like the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I watched someone play like the first 20 minutes of it today because like the embargo hasn't dropped yet. Somebody got like a copy of it, and literally, right, Noel, spoiler if you're listening to this before you've started it, like within the first 15 minutes, Link jumps down off like this platform, and then it's about 2 minutes of him diving down while the camera's circling around and just showing how fucking vast that game is in terms of places you can go. And it looks terrifying.
You see, I open world stuff has no interest for me whatsoever at all, and I think I'm quite lucky in that it just if I find out something is open world thing, my brain just goes, yeah, I'm alright. Don't have any interest in that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an absolute video game expert, but Breath of the Wild for me, you don't need to play any other game, and the scuttlebutt is Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, it's Breath of the Wild, but better, which is insane. So, hey, who knows? This time next week, I may or may not be talking about Tears of the Kingdom. I kind of hope I'm not. Honestly, that's where I'm at. So, yeah, there we go. So, in terms of films, though, I did watch a few things. So, rewatched Renfield. So Donna wanted to watch it. Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
And yeah, look, I'm more at peace with it just being a really solid 7 out of 10 than I was originally. It's just it's a very, very easy watch, that film.
Yeah.
Very just breezy, it's funny, it's entertaining. It's not jamming down, let's do a sequel down your throat. That film knows what it is and does it perfectly well.
That's it. It's just a cartoon, and I like that. It's just a cartoon.
Yeah, absolutely. Rewatched Ocean's 8.
Good movie.
Yeah, it is. That's the thing. I like all the cast. Kate Blanchett just very, very hot in it.
Yeah.
And Bullock, decent lead. MVP, Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
Knows what she's doing. Is basically playing what people may think Anne Hathaway is actually like. And is just having a great deal of fun with it. She's like a real breath of fresh air. But also, in the last half an hour, James Corden comes into it, also kind of gives it a kick up the arse.
I am not a fan of James Corden. I think he's fine in this, and he's really good in Prom.
Yeah, he's a twat, but when he's in films, I think he's alright.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying.
Yeah.
But he's got... God, there's this bit where he's in Richard Armitage's flat, and he's talking to him, and he's like, Richard Armitage just makes some sort of like throwaway comment about Anne Hathaway, and James Corden just looks at him and goes, "Oh, to be you," which is and he's got these like two weird kind of like tree trunk things in his house, and James Corden's like, you got your apartment. Look at its view. You got two of these, and it just. Yeah. He's got some really fucking good line deliveries in it, and it just where you think the film's wrapping up, and then it's gotta have but is something going to get in the way? Yeah, bring him in, and he's fun. And it feels like it just kind of got forgotten. Does Ocean's 8, and I think that's a shame. They do this weird thing at the end though, where Sandra Bullock's at George Clooney's kind of like a mausoleum, and she's just it's just like the shot is looking at her, and it's just they're playing with you. It's like you think George Clooney's going to turn up here. Do you know what? It probably would have been better if George Clooney actually had turned up, when he just didn't bother.
Yeah, it's one or the other, isn't it? It's either have him turn up or just don't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an odd one there, or at least have Brad Pitt show up there. It feels like it's setting up a cameo. It's like, we got you, didn't we? It's like, no, I'm a bit annoyed now actually, because that was just like 30 unnecessary seconds.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. So yeah, but Ocean's 8, I like that film. Good film, good movie, good score by Daniel Pemberton as well.
Yeah, Pemberton, one of these good ones. Yeah, I mean, and he often does very good ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so also watched on Disney Plus now, Rye Lane. So this actually made me think. I don't think this year so far has been as good for films as the equivalent time last year, and I think there was like kind of pent up shit going on there. But I feel like by March, April last year, we were saying I'd easily have like a top 5 for the year I'd be happy with.
I think there was, I think last year opened up with a bit of a bang, didn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not really sure what this year's actually produced. Actually,
no, this year's not been a lot of 4s, and there we are. So Rye Lane so far is my film of the year.
Nice.
But I would be disappointed if it was in my top 5, and I don't think it will be in my top 5 at the end of the year. But that's the last slightly negative connotation that I want to give to it, though. So, Rye Lane is a rom-com. Starts off with a guy in a toilet crying, unable to deal with his breakup where his girlfriend has got with his best mate. And a girl is outside the toilet kind of asking him if he's alright. And it goes on from there. They kind of talk. They spend some time walking about together, having a conversation, and it kicks off from there. So this played Sundance, Searchlight released it. Very much a UK film though, co-financed by the BFI and BBC Films. And it's incredibly charming. The two leads are let me get their names actually, because I feel like I'm fucking disrespecting them.
David Johnson and Vivian Opara.
Yeah, thank you. They are terrific. They're really, really fun together. Has a cameo which also has a bit of cheeky visual humour to it, which is fantastic. The visuals in this film, debut feature of the director Rain Allen Miller, and she is she knows what she's doing. Every shot, every bit of framing in this feels like it's been really well considered. There is a weird shooting style where it's basically like a lot of it's shot with wide angle lenses, and it takes some getting used to. It feels like someone who has grown, who is been molded in the age of YouTube and TikTok.
I think she's a bit of a Steve McQueen protege, I think.
Okay, all right, that's interesting. But what that does do, it's weird. It's a scope frame to kind of just take in the world, but then it uses these wide angles where it's like, but we want you to focus on the people in the middle. It's an interesting juxtaposition that almost feels like you'd be doing an Everything Everywhere kind of like alternate like framing, but instead of doing that, you're kind of doing it all within the one scope picture. It's odd, and it took some getting used to, but I understood what she was going for. It's also 84 minutes long.
I'm very into the idea of a British rom-com that is not set around and written around it being posh people, effectively.
Yeah, it feels authentically of this place, but I just like some of the visual ideas it's got. Like just one thing, like there's a flashback to the guy in the cinema, and he's in the cinema in the flashback, but then they're sat behind him while he's telling her the story, and then it cuts to where they actually are, and she's still got like the bag of popcorn in her hand, even though they're on a park bench, just kind of like munching it. And it's just this fun, like magical realism kind of thing going on, which, yeah.
I had it on my iPad downloaded to watch as like a batch of films that I keep on my iPad downloaded to watch. So I've got a little bit of a choice to watch at work because we have really bad Wi-Fi at work. And then when you said it's up there as like film of the year so far, I was like, all right, do you know what? I'm not watching that as a lunchtime watch. I'm watching that as a sat at home, you need all of my attention watch.
Yeah, and I mean, like, hey, you've got the old 4K, you've got the Dolby Vision. It pops quite nicely.
Yeah, I figure, you know, if I'm gonna go into it looking to really get some out of it, I'm gonna watch it the best way I can.
Yeah, and it's worth your time. Like I say, I'll be honest, I'll be disappointed if it were in that list at the end of the year, but it's a cracking time.
Good.
Lastly, is a film I never thought I'd watch again.
Right, I'm interested to know what the fuck this is going to be.
I was in the gym. I was about to do a session on the old elliptical. So the gym watches are back, Mark.
The gym watches are back?
Yeah, it's been years, but they're back. I was like looking through Netflix and I was like, right, okay, I need something that's going to keep my attention, kind of like keep me pumped up. I remember the first 20 minutes of this being alright. And then it went off a hill. Let's see how Michael Bay's Six Underground holds up.
Yeah, everybody says the same thing about Six Underground. The first 20 minutes are fucking great, but then you've got to watch the next 2 hours.
Yeah, so look, I'm still there. It's still a 2 out of 5 for me. It's not changed at all. But the thing is, I tricked myself again with that opening 20 minutes where it's very fun. It's propulsive. You got Dave Franco in there, just like being fun with Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds, like, yes, being fun as well. And just all these random characters and, like, kind of like, there's just this intro to them while they're speeding around Florence in a supercar. And then, for the next hour, the film basically seems like it's just a trailer for itself. It's so fucking weird. Where they're just constantly talking about, we're dead, we're an elite band, and blah, 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 and this is number 1, this is number 2. Who do you think number 1 actually is? And, you know, constantly flashing all over the place. And it literally feels like you could have made 32-minute trailers of the next hour. It's very odd. And then it kicks into this plot of they just want to overthrow this dictator and install his brother. And it's Ryan Reynolds doing wisecracks, but also having to be mean, which is and like uncaring, which is Ryan Reynolds can't really do both at the same time. I'm not sure he could be mean and uncaring, to be honest.
No, yeah. Even if you go back and look at it, his he's always kind of like the nicer guy, isn't he?
Yeah. You've got this song in the film that keeps on fucking playing. At one point, they take the piss out of the song in the film, but it keeps on playing. It's like diegetic in the film at one point. Like, Ben Hardy makes like a video about Revolution. He uses this song, and Ryan Reynolds is talking about how it's a fucking awful song and it's a bad choice. And Michael Bay just continues to keep on playing it. But then you've also got war crimes being committed and these shots of revolution happening in this place. And the ending, I forgot about this because I was pissed when I watched it the first time, is just this fucking bizarre... I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel about this. So spoilers if you care about Six Underground. But the ending is the dictator is like taken off in this helicopter and it's revealed, oh shit, it's actually our heroes and his brother. And then he's dumped off in like a poor part of his country where people just run up to him, video him on their phones and stuff, and just fucking brutalize him and kill him. And
Okay.
and then they fly off all kind of looking like Solomon, like we got the job done. And it's this kind of like barbaric, you didn't just kill him, like you fucking fed him to the wolves kind of thing, which is like, that's what he deserved. Because he's a fucking dictator and we're badasses, but we're going to feel bad about it because it's a bit morally dubious, but still we did it. And then Ryan Reynolds is going to have a joke in 30 seconds. It's very odd.
I'm the same as you. I think I was a little bit... I think I'd had like 3 or 4 pints when I watched it and then came in, watched it, and like was kind of like in that state of going, I am about to fall asleep, but I might get through this, and I got through it in that stage.
Yeah, and the thing is, if memory serves, it came out the Friday before Christmas in 2019, before the horror year started. And you know, it was Netflix's big like holiday release that year. And yeah, it's Michael Bay basically doing ChatGPT Michael Bay after the opening 20 minutes.
But he's done Ambu, LAS, and since.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Ambulance, it was like I want to fucking shoot something. All right, I've got some restrictions, have I? All right, I'll make that work. Get me a drone.
Yeah.
And then he just goes off.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put these 3 people in a fucking ambulance.
Yeah, and like using those LA streets where it's like no fuckers even using the streets anyway, so you may as well.
Yep.
And just doing mad shit. And you know, and that felt more true to what he wants to do these days than Six Underground does. Yeah, Six Underground, bad film, great opening 20 minutes.
Great short film, bad film.
Yeah. There we are. That's me.
Cool. You've arrived, haven't you, Becky?
I have arrived.
Yes. So I want to throw you
Yeah,
straight at the deep end there, Bex. What you been up to this week?
What have I been up to?
Yeah.
I haven't done anything except watch films again.
Yeah.
Hey.
What horror series have you taken on this week?
Well, Cooper, bugger off. Sorry, I'm getting attacked. So I continued with my... Gosh, not even a chance to catch my breath. Continued with my Annabelle stuff. And watched Annabelle Comes Home. Interesting one, actually, because obviously we spoke about Ouija last week, didn't we? Mm-hmm. And one of the comments that I made was that it was like if they tried to make a paranormal teen slasher and it just fails. And then that night I watched Annabelle Comes Home, and that succeeds where Ouija has failed. Obviously, you've got the Judy stuff, so you've got your Conjuring connection and the paranormal stuff all goes on, but you've got the the babysitter trope, the parents being away from home, and on all this kind of stuff, and it feels like a teen slasher vibe, but with loads of like creepy shit going on. So I mean, I remember liking it when it first came out, Annabelle Comes Home, but it really does succeed where others have failed in that sort of melding of the two.
Was that the third one? Yeah, I quite like the third one.
Yeah, it's good, and you get a bit more of like the Warrens stuff, like the creepy room, more of like the
more of the Conjuring lore within that.
Yeah, like other cases they've done. Like, I'd love them to just make a film for every one of the artifacts that are in that room, but that's just not really very realistic. So,
I mean, the Pope's Exorcist is going to try and do 199.
Yeah, I mean, keep the faith.
Yeah,
that should be the tagline. Sorry.
I would love that. But like that samurai guy, I want to know what his fucking story is. I want that film.
I'm sure we'll get it at some point.
So, yeah. But you know, you've got the bride, you've got the gosh, what's he called? Ferryman, with the creepy guys with the coins in their eyes and things like that. So it's just, there's a bit more there. So right, I'll loop back round to those two, because I also watched The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. So keeping with the Warren cinematic universe. Do you know what, The Conjuring? I always kind of, when I've not recently watched it, I always kind of think of The Conjuring as being like Insidious and Sinister's toothless cousin. Like it's not very scary. Like it's good, but it's not very scary. And then when I've rewatched it recently, like it's so fucking good. Is The Conjuring? Yeah. Just like so fucking good. And one thing I noticed, I would say
The Conjuring is better than Sinister or Insidious.
Sinister's fucking great.
Yeah, but I think The Conjuring is better.
Have you seen those home videos, Mark?
Yeah.
No, not that I think it's bad, but just that I don't think it goes in as hard. But then when you actually watch it,
She said.
5. But then yeah, it really fucking does. It's so scary at points. Like I think the more you watch it, like you pick up on different things. So like identifying more with the mother in it, and how terrifying that must be to be used to hurt your own children. It must be fucking awful. But one thing that I did kind of notice on this watch that I don't know that I've necessarily picked up on previously with this one is just, I mean, I've picked up before on the fact that they are just so good together. Vera Farmiga and Patrick Stewart are so good as Ed and Lorraine, and they have a really great chemistry, and they feel like a believable married couple that are in love. And obviously you get more of that in The Devil Made Me Do It, because it's about their there's stuff about their origin story as well, isn't there, in there? Yeah. But just the fact that she's this very sort of together woman until he says something to her, and then it's like her face completely changes and she becomes really like girlish and like you know, like she's a bit like coy around him, and I've not really picked up on that in the first one before. And they're just so fucking wholesome in number 2 as well. Like number 2 for me is a lesser movie. It doesn't succeed as well, and I think part of that is the setting. I think the Americanness of them in the bleak, miserable fucking greyness of London, it just doesn't work for me.
But that's the point, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I know, I get that. It doesn't. The story feels quite rushed in Conjuring 2, and it doesn't feel like there's as much meat on the bones, which is, you know, obviously you've got the old man, you've got the reveal that the old man is actually also trapped by Valak, and you've got the crooked man bit. You know, there's some suitably creepy shit in there. But it feels like it meanders and then it just sprints. The pacing's off for me. The bit where he plays the guitar though. Like I was watching that bit last night, and it's just so sweet. He's so in that character. Like their interpretation of the Warrens is just, it's the love story the world needs. It just is. They're just beautiful together, and they love each other so much. And the
love story the world needs.
Yeah, definitely. Demon fighting, hunting couple, just fucking really in love.
Who are actually like real grifters in real life.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the real Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Okay.
I'm talking about Warren's,
all right.
Warren's cinematic universe, Ed and Lorraine.
Oh, shit. All right.
So, in the midst of all this stuff, I decided that I was going to watch the Terrifier movies, and I'm going to speak about them.
Oh, shit. That's okay. Isn't the second one like 2.5 hours long?
It's long.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry, go on.
yeah.
So that's just genuinely taken me by surprise. How are they?
So, right, I'm going to speak about them as a duo because, like, the plots are... Well, the first one doesn't really have a plot. Okay, so comparing the two, you've got The Terrifier, which feels like a film school project. And there's not really much plot. There's evidently not much of a budget. But there's a good idea behind it. Like, right, it's Halloween and this clown just fucking kills people in really, really fucking gnarly ways. Like, there is some gore in this. And it's a really interesting watch from that point of view. Like, the practical effects are really well done. The tension is kept really well. But I wouldn't say it's a good film. It's a good thing to watch as like
Akira.
Kind of, yeah. It's as a study of low budget filmmaking craft.
Right.
And if you like gore, there's some good shit in there. There's some real good shit. It's grim. I said to you, didn't I? Like, I wouldn't recommend it to you because I don't think you'd find it interesting enough for it to work as a curio for you, and I think you'd just be like, this is just gross. And Ian, it would probably just don't. You would hate it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I believe you.
But Art the Clown's really good. Is
he one of your best friends now?
No. He's grim. But he's scary. The guy that played him, I was reading like in the trivia, he studied mime, so that's why all the mannerisms are so well done. And yeah, like I enjoyed my time with it. And then you've got the second one, which obviously has got a bit more of a budget. Obviously, they've put a bit more thought into the plot, and it feels like a real film. It has a beginning, middle, and an end, and it's a film. Whereas the first one is just a bunch of kills in a building with a man who's trying to get rid of the rats. The second one is more of a kind of, again, like a teen slasher kind of vibe that they've gone for with it, where he's stalking this girl. And it suffers for that. Like, it's trying to be... it's trying to be a real film, which I have to respect that, but it you've got the kind of... Teen slashers can be grim, but they're not really generally very grim, are they? They're kind of cotton wool wrapped grim.
Yeah.
But this one keeps the grim juxtaposed against teen shit. And I just don't think it works as well as the first one.
Is that also because it's fucking 2.5 hours long?
It is really long. Yeah, I had to do that one in 2 sittings. I actually watched the end of Terrifier 2 while the coronation was on.
Solid.
So yeah, I think if there are well, especially the first one, it's a good curious. Oh, and I said to you as well, didn't I? One thing I liked about the first one is, with a lot of films of this type, you end up having some kind of paranormal element. You know, like the killers end up being like fucking weirdly, gosh, what's the word? Impervious to damage, and they just keep fucking coming back. Whereas, you know, like in the first one, up till the last maybe 5 minutes, like the clown, if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. You know, he gets knocked back, he gets slowed down, and then at the end he gets killed. But then it fucks it in the last 5 minutes because he comes back from the dead, and then the second one is all paranormal shit.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I preferred the first one. But yeah, they're definitely worth a watch if you like that kind of film.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not that bothered.
Yeah. And then... anything else apart from the one we watched together? No. I watched Oz the Great and Powerful.
How was that on a rewatch? Because I remember that starting really good and then getting really boring.
I mean, and Becky is the person who's watched it twice, which is something we usually say about what Mark watches.
Yeah.
So this is a treat.
I've actually watched this a number of times.
Becky, to be fair, I watched Six Underground for the second time this week. So that
do you know what? I really liked Oz the Great and Powerful when it first came out, and watched it a few times at that time, and then haven't watched it for quite a while, and I don't. It's good, and I think it holds up. It's essentially like an origin story for the wizard, isn't it? It's like a prequel.
Yeah.
I just can't get past the Franco-ness of it.
Fair.
He's quite...
Franco?
Yeah. And he's quite sleazy.
So Franco then?
Yeah. But then he's supposed to be, because he's a con man. But then he's also a bit pervy. And it's like... Franco-y.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wish they'd cast somebody else. At the time, he wasn't... I don't think his Franco-iness was quite as...
apparent as it is now.
Yeah. And now watching it, knowing more, it's like, oh, I really wish someone else was in this. I think they should just cast Patrick Stewart and everything. Not Patrick Stewart. What's his name? Off of Conjuring.
Patrick Wilson.
That's it. Patrick Stewart's Picard, isn't it?
Patrick Stewart, Patrick Wilson, tomato.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should just cast him in everything because he's just real wholesome. That's me.
Cool. Well, we'll do what we
Nice.
did. We'll do what we did together. I'll do mine, then we'll do our main review. We'll do a backwards show this week.
Crazy.
Yes.
Except I wasn't here.
Yes. We rewatched Roadhouse, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Because it's Roadhouse.
Yeah. It's real weird to see Sam Elliott young. He's still Sam Elliott old, but do you know what I mean?
Yes. yeah, it is. You're looking at Sam Elliott and going, well, this is 35 years ago.
Yeah.
But he still looks like he's
Yeah.
older.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
They're all calling him like grandpa and shit, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you wait and see, because he's still going to be around in 2023.
Yeah. Ben Gazzara as one of the great fucking villains of the 80s.
Yeah, he's a scumbag, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Brad Wesley is a perfect villain. The bit where he's just driving along his car and just swerving around while singing to himself is great. It's a...
I said to you, didn't I, when we were watching it, the whole central conceit of this movie is ridiculous.
I am fascinated what the remake of this is going to be. And Jake Gyllenhaal is Dalton Roadhouse movie, where he's an ex-UFC fighter.
Who else is in it? Someone else is in it. Like a UFC person.
Conor McGregor has a cameo, apparently.
Right, he's got a cameo. Right, okay.
Yeah,
fine.
I don't think he's not... Even he's because someone said about the acting thing with it, and even Conor McGregor said, I think people are over playing.
I mean,
this.
it is.
Billy Matheson's in it.
Conor McGregor pops up on my YouTube every now and then where he's like fucking shilling for some crypto firm. And I swear to God, all he says is like, it's the app! Or something like that. And it's like, right, is that all you were gonna say? You were like, you get 3 words, pay me $10 million. Or were they just like, we can't use any of this? He says like 3 fucking words.
Yeah.
And yeah, Conor McGregor, an impressive physical specimen. That will be about it.
Yeah, but I'm just very interested for what a Doug Liman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Dalton movie is going to be about.
I wonder who's going to be playing like the Sam Elliott role.
Sam Elliott.
I don't think it's yeah, I'm surprised. I don't think it's a direct remake. I think it's like he's his little brother or something like that. There's something like that in it. They're being very coy about what it actually is. But yeah, the Gyllenhaal thing gets me interested. We also rewatched The Recruit, didn't we?
Gosh, I haven't even logged this. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. It's
Naughty Becky.
it's Colin Farrell in like the middle of his like post Minority Report Colin Farrell explosion. But also you've got Pacino just wandering around Pacinoing things.
Just Pacinoing the shit out of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
He's just Pacinoing everywhere, all over this movie. But my God, is it watchable? Watching him be Pacino-y in it.
He doesn't shout anything about Colin Farrell having a great ass. though.
He doesn't, but he
I'd have loved that.
but you can almost feel like there's a
Like it's an outtake.
there's a 15 cut of this movie where he does.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, the plot makes no sense whatsoever.
No.
Of the recruit. So he recruits him for the CIA, then seemingly like causes him to
Get kicked out.
which was always the plan, so that he could then replant him back in as the special CIA agent out of this group to infiltrate the person who thought they were the special CIA agent out of this group, because she's actually a double agent.
But then she's not.
But then she's not.
Actually,
He's actually a double agent,
Yeah.
and the whole thing makes no sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense.
No.
Colin Farrell looks too old for this role as well.
But the fact is, you kept saying that, but he's only like 2 years older than the role he's supposed to be playing.
I don't know whether maybe it's just because he doesn't look that much different now.
Yeah.
So, like, he looks like grown-up Colin Farrell.
But the fun thing I had with this movie is every so often when you go, this movie doesn't make so much sense, Pacino just starts Pacinoing and you're like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
I don't care anymore.
fair.
Yeah. Had a good time with rewatching The Recruit.
Yeah,
Okay, I've got mine now.
oh, God.
What the fuck? Rewatch Phone Booth.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Phone Booth is a fucking cracking movie.
Yep.
And Colin Farrell, again, in an early Farrell role, is really fucking good. It was like, he'd been in Minority Report, but he'd played like the sleazeball in Minority Report. And he'd been in a few like low-key Brit films. This was like the first film where people went, oh, hang on a minute, so he can act. And he's really good in it. But I kept forgetting that everybody else in it, because of course it's a Joel Schumacher film, everybody else in it is somebody you recognise. So like, the random girl that he's talking to is Katie Holmes, and his wife is Rana Mitchell. And I completely forgot that the cop that he's talking to is Forrest Whitaker. And you watch it going, this is the most Forrest Whitaker of Forrest Whitaker roles. Like, it seems like every 15 10 to 15 years, you get a new like type of role that Forrest Whitaker can play.
Yeah.
And it's
He
like,
just plays the shit out of
and
it.
you watch it going, God, like Forrest Whitaker is really fucking like watchable. You wouldn't look at a picture of Forrest Whitaker and go, "Yep, that's a charismatic as fuck screen presence." But then the minute he starts doing anything, you go, "Yeah, fucking, he's fun to watch." Like in the 80s, he was just playing like generic like sidekick,
Yeah.
usually like a cop, or like Good Morning Vietnam, where he's playing like the sidekick army guy. In terms of fucking Bloodsport and things like that. But he's always really watchable. And it's, Phone Booth is a cracking movie, and it is 80 minutes long.
Right, sorry. Forrest Whitaker's IMDb little mini profile thing that they put next to actors starts with, Forrest Stephen Whitaker has packaged a king-sized talent into his hulking 6'2", 220-pound frame.
Yep.
Oh my!
Weird way to start that off.
It's still, I've probably read this one out before, but it's still not the best ever for one. It is Tom Atkins is the best. So Tom Atkins biography, and I'm sure I've been out before on Film Bastards.
Do you mean Tom Atkins?
Yes, sorry, Atkins, yeah.
Right.
Handsome, rugged, versatile, and charismatic character actor.
Yeah, that fucking rules.
And it's like, I love the fact that he has clearly fucking wrote that himself and gone, yep, fucking send.
Incredible.
And his publicist's gone, are you sure you want us to use this? He's gone, yep.
Do you know what, though? IMDb, for something that's really quite a dry database-based app,
Yeah,
kind of wild sometimes on there, isn't it?
it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Alexander Skarsgård's fucking profile picture just always gets me.
Yeah. Yes. So Phone Booth, cracker. Also a fun opening bit as the credits go in. It's talking about phone booths and how much they get used, but talking about like cellular phones, and apparently there are over 10 million people in the New York district, and 3 million of them have cell phones. You're like going, oh,
Just you wait.
this is a timestamp.
Yeah.
Also rewatched Flight of the Phoenix, the 2004 one.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid, yeah. Dennis Quaid, Giovanna Ribisi, Tyrese Gibson, Hugh Laurie is there. Yeah. So basically, a plane crashes, and the only way they can get out of it's in the middle of the desert. The only way they can get out of the middle of the desert is by rebuilding another plane out of the crashed plane. And it is the idea of this mysterious stranger played by Giovanni Ribisi, which again is perfect casting. And it's just for but the fun thing is the opening 25 minutes, half an hour is Dennis Quaid just essentially playing Dashing, and then the next 20 minutes is just Giovanni Ribisi just wandering around looking at stuff in the background. And then you watch it literally just doing the DiCaprio meme, pointing at him constantly. And then all of a sudden you find out that he literally designs planes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he's getting him to redo this entire plane. And then just as it's about to take off, spoiler alert for a 20-year-old movie that is actually a remake of a 60-year-old movie. No, sorry. Yeah, 60-year-old movie. Turns out he doesn't actually design planes. He designs model planes.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's a fun watch, actually, is Flight of the Phoenix.
Fair enough.
Nice. Two more. Watch The Big Year.
Is that the fucking bird watching
It is
one?
the bird watching one, Ian, yes.
Right, cool.
So I watched The Big Year. Now, usually you guys would say...
Mark, you alright?
Yeah, right. However, I have a good reason for why I watched this.
Is it Jack Black?
It's got Jack Black, Steve Martin, and Owen Wilson in it. They're your three leads, and I thought, do you know what? I bet that's just quite nice to watch.
Okay.
Because it's a 12A movie about birding that stars Jack Black, Steve Martin, and Owen Wilson. And the idea of it is, The Big Year is a birding thing where you've got to spot as many different varieties of birds in America in 1 year as you can. And it's basically like Owen Wilson has set the record for this of 732. So he's like a big deal in the birding community.
Is he real Owen Wilson in it?
He's quite Owen Wilson in it, but not like too far that you don't believe he could be a real person. Owen Wilson in it. Steve Martin plays like a high flying business executive who's retiring, so he can do his big year before he can't do it anymore. And Jack Black plays just like an everyday Joe who is like using all his life savings and mounting up massive amounts on credit cards just to do his big year. And it's them it's Jack Black and Steve Martin kind of teaming up to compete against Owen Wilson, but not in like a nasty way. And the thing is, it's kind of fun and frothy throughout it.
Yeah.
But at the undertone of it, it like Jack Black spends like tens of thousands of pounds on credit card debt just to do this. Steve Martin's character actually probably has the best arc in that he realises that he doesn't need to see the most birds. He just kind of enjoys like the thrill of it all, and that's kind of it. His character.
Just to clarify, the thrill of bird watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Owen Wilson like completely destroys his relationship with Rosamund Pike because he keeps just like darting off around America to find these birds.
Right.
It's a really weird film that I kind of enjoyed, but then kind of went, I don't think the message that you think that you are sending is the right message. These people shouldn't be doing this. It's almost like a disease.
Addiction is a disease.
And it is a little bit like that.
Where did you even come across this film, Mark? You watch some weird shit.
Fuck you. Right. And now, on to a section of the show that Ian has titled. Just finding the exact title.
Are you okay, Mark?
No. It's titled Dash Me Hook, I Barely Knew Her.
Oh.
Where I am taking on my own mini marathon here. And when I say mini marathon, I mean 43 movies by the end of the year.
Fuck's sake.
I'm 5 in so far, and I am strapped in and fucking going for this.
Yeah.
I am committing to watching by the end of this year, and we're 5 months through it. All of Dash Me Hawk's movies.
Fine.
There'll be some you'll want to watch with me.
There will?
Yeah. So I watched the 2006 movie, 10th and Wolf.
Okay.
Which is based on a story by Joseph Pistone, of course, who is the real guy from Donnie Brasco. To clarify, it's not based on a story that happened to him. It's just based on an idea for a film he had, and then somebody wrote it.
Nice.
So you can get the idea is the fact that you've got James Marsden plays an ex he plays a Marine from this district, 10th and Wolf, who joined the Marines to get out of like the trappings of his lineage. Of his entire family worked within the Italian mafia, within the Irish mafia.
Okay.
There, and so he joined Marines, but then he ends up getting in trouble because he beats up one of his COs and then steals a truck. And you find out halfway through the movie, that's when the movie starts, and halfway through the movie, like Giovanni Ribisi's character, who plays his cousin, who he is now he's kind of like investigating to try and get him off the hook. So he's playing like he's been planted in there by the FBI on the sense that if you get us this guy, we won't go after your little brother and your cousin, who is played by Brad Renfro and Giovanni Ribisi. But like he explains what actually happened for why he ended up like on being court-martialed for it, and he basically says that he got pissed off, got drunk, beat up his CO, and then stole a Humvee and tried to drive to go and kill Saddam Hussein himself.
Okay.
And everyone just starts laughing. He's like, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, so what happened? He went, "I ran out of petrol." and apparently that is based upon a real guy that the writer knew that kind of happened to him. It's very like by the numbers.
Where's Dash Mihawk?
Oh, I'll get to Dash Mihawk.
Okay.
It's very by the numbers kind of undercover agent who doesn't really want to do it there. So it's fun enough if you like that kind of movie, but there are a lot better movies out there. But Giovanni Ribisi is in very Giovanni Ribisi territory. Brad Renfro's doing some interesting stuff, playing his little brother, playing James Marsden's little brother, who isn't quite all there. And James Marsden, you're spending the entire time watching James Marsden going, "Fuck yeah, he's a good-looking man. He's a really good-looking man." Throughout the entirety of it, and yeah, and like Val Kilmer randomly turns up, Brian Dennehy's in it. There's some good shit going on.
Yeah.
But then, of course, you've got Dash,
Yes.
who plays Giovanni Ribisi's like business partner in it, who's called Junior. And the opening bit of him is he beats a man to death with his wooden leg.
Okay.
Yeah. Not the man hasn't got a wooden leg. Junior has a wooden leg.
Oh, he takes off his own.
He takes off his own wooden leg
Okay.
because the guy comments on the fact that he limped to meet him, and is that why he was so late? And so he beats him to death with his wooden leg. Later on in the movie, he gets stabbed in the head by the wife of the guy with the wooden leg, who he's trying to sexually assault.
Okay.
Yeah. And his response to getting stabbed in the head is, "Why'd you do that?" And then at that moment, the bar that he owns gets raided, so all this SWAT team comes in, and Dash Mihawk just still stood there with a knife in his head. Just turns around, looks at him and goes, "Who are you guys?" And then just dies.
Gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, 5 out of 5. Possible film of the year for 2006. It was fun. It's very much my speed. I enjoyed watching it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Don't know what's going to be the Dash movie of next week, but we'll see.
It's going to be a roller coaster, isn't it?
It's
I can't wait.
not doing them in an order, just doing them in a random order. But yeah, we'll have more. Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 in a week. Who knows?
Wow,
Yeah.
crazy.
Let's see where this crazy world takes us.
So,
Right, now it's time for our feature review at the end of our show. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 happened 6 years since Guardians Volume 2,
wow.
which is bonkers.
Because Marvel have been wasting their fucking time on TV shows.
Yeah, it's the usual cast. It's Guardians. I'm not going to go into it. Yeah. Plot is that the Guardians are in nowhere, where is their new headquarters, and then what's
Shit
his
kicks
name?
off.
Adam Warlock fucking turns up to retrieve Rocket. Rocket ends up almost dying, but they find out that his heart has like a kill switch attached to it, and so the gang go to try and
Get the passcode.
get the passcode for it, and then bump into Jaquidi Uji's at the High Evolutionary. Ian, what do you think to Guardians Volume 3?
So, yeah, obviously we'd come into this wary, you know. I think it's fair to say that our comments on James Gunn have been, makes good films, kind of seems like he's a bit of a prick.
Yeah.
Does he?
And
Yeah. He does.
really?
He does seem like he's got a little bit high on the smell of his own farts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The a little bit of the geek who made good and now he's lording it over everyone thing that I think Taika Waititi has a little soupçon of as well.
Yeah, I will say one funny thing. Just sorry, to just mad interrupt. Just while it's in my head. Have either of you guys seen the clip where James Gunn's mentioning the dummy that they made?
I've seen Karen Gillan
no.
dancing with it though.
So James Gunn's talking about this dummy that they made of Peter Quill, and he's saying that the dummy was actually in his office for ages, and he says, everyone that would come in, but he says come in it, and he says come in, would look at this. What is it? And Chris Pratt looks at him and goes, "You let people like what?" And he's like, "Good. What?" He went, "Do you let people like come in it?" And James was going, "What?" He's going, "Like the dummy of what? How many people did?" And like James Gunn's trying to keep a straight face as Chris Pratt is just saying, "How many people have come in this fucking dummy of me?" and the guy who's like sat there at like this press junket trying to view just does not know what to do because Chris Pratt just keeps fucking going with this. I'm almost offended, but I kind of want to know who came in it.
That's pretty good. Wow. Okay. So yeah. So the thing is, I kind of with Guardians 3 and with the other films as well. I do kind of feel like he does put his heart into the things that he's making. I thought this was a really interesting way of saying goodbye, where you're not just emphatically closing the door by like killing people and like burning it all to the ground, which he easily could have done. But instead, it's telling its own story. It's leaving the door open for them to go on other adventures and stuff like that, but it's not necessarily it's saying coming up next. Like the post-credits thing where it says the legendary Star-Lord will return feels like that's not a James Gunn thing. That's like a Disney mandated thing. But the thing about this film is that it doesn't necessarily feel like there's an awful lot of Disney mandated stuff in it.
No.
It also doesn't necessarily state Peter Quill will return as Star-Lord.
No. I mean, yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, Chris Pratt said he's happy to come back, which I think is smart for Chris Pratt's sake. Dave Bautista and Zoe Saldana are the two who have gone like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, they're both very much done, aren't they?
Yeah, and Zoe Saldana, where that ends up with her just being with the Ravagers, it's like, yeah, cool, all right, fine, leave that be.
Yeah, I like that they kind of sort of had them getting on better at the end, but didn't get them back together. Like, that would have just been a bit...
Ick.
Well, yeah, well, not ick, but just a bit like lazy. Yeah. I think it would have been the lazy thing to do. Whereas having her been happy with the Ravagers and like them being the family that she had with the Guardians before was quite nice. Like it gave her more agency, I think. Like rather than just being, she was Gamora to start off with, and then she was like Peter Quill's girlfriend, and then now she's Gamora again. She's like her own thing. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And he was dealt an interesting hand because like the whole killing her and bringing a different her back was foisted on him. And I think he's made a really good job of that. The key thing here for me though is it is the rocket stuff. I found that plot fucking wild for one of these films. I teared up multiple times just at how fucking horrible Rocket's experience was.
There was genuinely a lot of people just in tears, wasn't there?
The bit where he dies and they try to bring him back.
Yeah, there was a guy across the road, row from us, wasn't there? He was just he was like, I am not ashamed at how much I'm crying right
There
now.
was people sobbing.
Yeah.
Wasn't there? I was crying, but I wasn't like audibly crying. Few little sniffles maybe, but like there was crying going on.
It's when he's Little Rocket and his first fucking word is hurts.
Oh, no,
Like-
it'll make me cry.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's. But this is the thing. It's a film that's really trying to be more than you would expect from the boundaries of the MCU, and not just in that like Orgosphere stuff where it's just fucking weird visually for like 15 minutes or so. And like it kind of speaks to James Gunn's more trauma-y kind of days. It felt like it was made with heart. I don't think it's perfect. I think Adam Warlock basically doesn't need to be there as much as I think Will Poulter is good.
Oh, I thought he was great. I love that.
Yeah, I like him. Doesn't need to be there. I feel like if he wasn't set up in Guardians Volume 2, him and Debicki wouldn't be in it.
No,
but
I like the fact that they took him from being like it's set up in like the end of Guardians 2 as like he's gonna be the next big Guardians villain to just a fucking idiot.
He's an idiot, and the whole kind of like you made us take him out too early, kind of like he's not quite done yet. Like that's a great one-line explanation of okay, he's strong but he's a fucking idiot. Okay, cool, solved.
And then the bit where he's like where he accidentally kills the guy and he's like, I don't like the way that thing's making me feel.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
I
I think
Sovereign ended up being like just one of his projects though.
That's the thing, right? And I will shut up in a second, but that's the thing. I'm not entirely sure I did like that because Guardians Volume 2, they're this really like celestial, these are the perfect people race, and it's like, oh, actually no, they're just beneath this guy's foot. And there's no foreshadowing of that whatsoever in 2, and it feels like Gunn trying to write himself out of something there. But to be fair, Gunn had to write himself out of a lot of things because of like the events of Endgame, and I can't poo-poo it that much. This is my favourite MCU film since Endgame by a bit of a distance.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And I kind of get a sense of what you guys thought because I've been talking so much that it's just leaked through, so apologies. But yeah, what do you guys think?
Should we go first, Max? Or should we go first?
You go first.
I think it's helped by the fact that it doesn't feel like, and I think you said this, Ian, that it doesn't feel like any way this is having to influence a future Marvel movie. It's very singular, very contained within it. But also as well, it isn't afraid to go, oh, you think this movie's going to be about Peter and Gamora and that? No. It's actually about Rocket.
Nebula.
It's more Nebula story than that, is it? But it's like, it then makes you go, James Gunn essentially going, you do realise that these entire 3 films have all been about Rocket. You've just not realised it. And there's that there. I think it's helped by the fact that you've got a fucking great villain.
He's such
a
good villain.
Yeah, not just like...
Such a cunt.
Yeah,
he's
not
that bit,
such a cunt.
I said to you when we got out, didn't I, that bit where, because they've set him up throughout the movie and made him so abhorrent, the bit where they all just fucking wail on him is so satisfying.
Yeah, the faster Pussycat Kill.
Yeah. It's fucking... It's just... It's like... Yeah, I loved it. I was just like, yes, this is what I needed. I needed to see him get the shit being out of him. If he'd just got shot or something... Oh, God, and they rip his face off.
Well, it's a mask that he had because Rocket literally tore his face off before.
Yeah.
But also really good performance. You know, if you're going to have somebody who can play, who's going to just be manic, because that's what essentially he is, you've got to have someone with a a voice that can carry that, with a voice that has this this like almost like gravitas to it, but this almost like mad gravitas to it, this mania to it.
Yeah.
And you know, he does. He has this manic energy to him where he just where the point where they think they've got him, like we're taking over, and he's like, no, you are not. And it's that, but he's just such a piece of shit. Yeah, but like you said there, Ian, I don't think it's perfect. I think there's bits of it where it drags a little bit, but then it didn't feel like it was 2.5 hours long.
No.
I think it will be one of those things. I think it will drag on a rewatch certain bits, and it is the bit that you mentioned where they go to the bit with Nathan Fillion. Augosphere, that's the fucker. When they go to that, I think that will drag on a rewatch because it's a little bit like gang goes to place, has to infiltrate, things go wrong, have to blast their way out, kind of bit. And then it does start to get to the point of where you're going, okay, I get it, but I kind of need Rocket to actually be more involved now. And it does that at the right time.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
That he's like there. It's and then you get a nice wrap up at the end where you kind of get a feeling that everybody's kind of okay.
Yeah.
In their own special way.
Yeah.
What did you think, Bex?
I fucking loved it.
Nice.
I agree with you. It's not perfect. Like you said, that section is a bit baggy, but I just don't care.
It's fine, yeah.
Like, if there was a showing of this on Saturday at a time when I could, while I'm waiting for you to finish work, I would be going to see this again. I want to see this again in the cinema.
Yeah.
I think the animal testing bit is done, like, it's obviously an indictment on, not to that extent, but on the cruelty that people put on animals as part of that. But, like, really not in an eat your vegetables kind of way. If it is eat your vegetables, it's some kind of really, really interesting, tasty vegetable ragu kind of situation. It's not like a plate of broccoli. It's just testament to the world building of these films. How fucking heartbreaking that is.
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think it's probably the darkest I think a Marvel movie's gone.
Yeah.
Well, they kill a fucking planet as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there's just perfectly nice families there, and like Peter sees that one. Sorry,
meth dealers as well.
Yeah, but Peter sees those meth dealers and whatnot, and the High Evolutionary's like, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really care about them as much. Spider Bunny freaked me out though.
Spider Bunny was intense.
It's making a point though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, vivisection and fucking like bolting, all that. Like, it did a number on me. Like that whole fucking shit did a real number on me.
Yeah, sorry. It really gets me when I think about it. It's like it's so fucking well done.
We almost took Lottie to it, and then I started hearing, and like Jordan literally texted me in the boy chat, was like, Ian, you're going to struggle with this. I was like, fuck, alright, I better go watch it by myself then. Lots isn't going to be able to fucking watch this film for years.
And I do not blame her. It's dark.
It is dark, yeah.
It's quite upsetting.
It like literally, if she watched it and she saw like Rocket's friends being fucking gunned down, like that would scar her.
And it does. Yeah, it's a. I think Gunn gets away with it within the context of the movie. I think he gets away with.
I'm not sure he does.
How dark it is.
I think it's a really for specific kids and adults. I think it's a really, really high up there 12A.
I think, I agree with that. I think it is very much you are watching it going, this maybe should have come with a little bit more of a warning.
Yeah, like a warning, yeah.
it really did need a content warning.
I'm not normally a fan of content warnings.
Animal cruelty shit, though.
But the fact of the matter is, if this was a 15, no fucking content warning.
No,
You're on what is it? But it's right to 12.
Absolutely.
And Ian quite easily could have taken lots to that. You as somebody who is aware of what's in these films.
I mean, to be fair, I took Lottie to see The House with a Clock in Its Walls when she was 4. So I'm an idiot.
Yeah, but there is bits of that. I mean, I took my nephew Tyler when he was about 8 and 9 to see The Dark Knight, didn't I?
Yeah.
And it was only when I was watching, and I'd already seen it. It was only when I was watching it, and I was a bit like, "Oh, this might be a bit fucking intense."
I think you watch movies differently when you've got a kid sat next to you.
Yeah, for a kid, and I could see that he was a little bit freaked out by it.
But yeah, I think as well, obviously there's a large cast of characters in this movie, and I think they are all absolutely perfectly dealt with. Like, everyone's arc essentially is coming to kind of a bit of a resolution. You've got Dave Bautista gets to show that he's not just dumb and strong. Is it Clementieff? Is that how you say it?
Yeah. It's a really
Gets to, fucking stick up for herself. Nebula's a real girl. What's his face? Sean Gunn.
Yeah.
He's obviously still grieving and learning to step into some real fucking big shoes.
Just big fan of the fucking Cosmo. Like, please just tell me I'm a good dog. That was great.
Obviously, you've watched more of the series and stuff. Has Cosmo come from anything else, or just appeared in this?
In the holiday special. This is the thing. They introduced that and the fact that Mantis and Peter are brother and sister in the holiday special, which you're not necessarily gonna have watched.
Yeah, we haven't watched it because we wanted to watch it at Christmas, and then we just ran out of time, didn't we? Until we were going to travel back to it next Christmas. But then, there was quite a bit of it in this that were like, that must be from...
Well, the brother and sister bit, I just went, I suppose that makes sense because Kurt Russell created her and him, so fine.
Yeah.
But again, the dog is also just there in the holiday special. It's just you're kind of introduced to it.
Yeah.
It's an odd one, isn't it? Fair play.
When I saw Maria Bakalova on the cast list, I was a bit like, for fuck's sake, really? I'm glad she was just a voice. And I think she voices that really well.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm a good girl. You believe I'm a good girl.
Oh, and then when he says at the end something like, and she's a good girl. Love that. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to say. I was really not looking forward to this. I am so pleased that it surprised me.
But it does. Hey, look, let's see what happens, obviously. But it does feel like a good jumping off point for people if they wanted to.
Yeah, that's it. 'Cause, I mean, like you say, Batista's said, that's it, I'm done. Drax, the Destroyer, is gone.
I mean, for viewers as well, mind.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a fair point, that. Yeah, because I like the fact, like you said, that he doesn't set fire to it all and go...
Yeah.
Killing this guy off, killing this guy off, killing this guy off. I do think we'll see Chris Pratt will come back as Star-Lord.
Yeah.
In future Marvel movies. I don't think he'll ever be a central character, but I do think there will be something that is there.
I like the fact that Rocket finally accepts that he's a raccoon.
Yeah.
Great.
Like you said, you're looking at that end bit did smack of, right, we were saying this, weren't we, Bex, that, that would make a good Monster of the Week TV series.
Oh god, yeah, 100%. If there is one fucking Marvel TV show that I would watch, it would be The New Guardians.
And because
they're like fun little team as well. Like that section's really good. That mid cred.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, and you could see that being a possibility.
You know who we're not talking about?
Who?
Chris Pratt.
I actually thought he was really good in this.
He's really good.
He's yeah, that's the thing. He's good, but it kind of also feels like he's been a bit unselfish and gone, yeah, all right, fair play. It's not my film.
Yeah, that's it. He's very happy to just kind of like be in the background and be just funny and a little bit broken as well.
Considering his last outing of Star-Lord was fucking everything up.
But
Which they mention in this, and again, James Gunn has said he was unhappy with the fact that all that shit basically happens because Peter Quill has a tantrum.
and I like the fact that they kind of reference in it where he basically says had a breakdown, kind of almost ruined the universe.
Yeah,
and it's it felt like a good way to kind of acknowledge all of that in like a fun way. But I know people don't like Chris Pratt. I think there's reasons that people don't like Chris Pratt. I think some of them are a little bit made too much out of. But he is a fun screen presence at points. He really is. He's funny and he gets the dramatic bits quite well.
He's good in this.
Him getting fucking, when you've got Gamora saying he's gone and him just saying no, he's not. You get this feeling that he can't lose another fucking friend.
Yeah.
To this, and it does get you. Part of the reason why so many people were fucking crying in our screening of that is Pratt's performance of it.
yeah.
And he gets to drop an F-bomb.
The F-bomb, is
now
good.
What? Open the fucking door. But it's not even said in anger as well. Like, you get one F-bomb in the movie, you would think that it would be they'd save it to use it for like an angry moment, and it's just like, open the fucking door, dumbass.
It almost feels a little bit like it might have just been he just said that and Gunn's gone, look guys, can we fucking keep this in? Isn't it the first F-bomb in a Marvel movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that it's pissed people off as well.
Has it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people going, this is disgraceful.
There's a lot of really fucking just weirdly conservative people.
Yeah.
And like annoyed, like some younger people as well.
Yeah.
And it, fuck's sake.
It's like,
yeah.
It's like, get over yourselves, dickheads. I'm definitely not shit. Like I say, it's my favourite Marvel movie. I would go as far back to say, because I still have a lot of issues with Endgame. So it's my favourite probably Marvel movie since Infinity War.
Yeah, you weren't as keen for Endgame, were you?
No.
Infinity War is the better movie.
Yeah, I think Endgame is a fantastic culmination of all of this incredible thing that went on. I'm just not sure it's as good a movie as that, as the achievement it is. But in terms of for individual trilogies within the Marvel sphere that we've had, I think Gunn has probably made the best collection of 3 movies. Not saying they're the best 3 movies of the Marvel, but if you were to take the 3 Iron Man movies, for instance,
3 Thor
level of quality, and the Thor movies level of quality, I would say that Guardians has the highest average.
Okay.
Yeah, fair.
I love. I did want to mention as well. I also really enjoyed Gamora just thinking they were pretending that they understood what Groot was saying.
Yeah. Yeah. That was quite amusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just winding me up now. You're just pretending that's what he's saying until she can actually hear him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not shit.
Yep. We all 3 definitely not sure, I'm guessing, yeah. Right, we do have some questions.
Did you do an audience poll?
I did do an audience poll. That's what I was looking for first, and then completely forgot. Got sidetracked by my own brain.
Stupid brain.
Definitely not shit, 79%. Touching cloth, 14%. And shit, 7%.
Wow, fair enough.
And we do have a few questions here. So... Dylan Black Lanterns, have you ever seen a ghost?
I've never even seen the movie Ghost.
You've not seen Ghost?
No. Is that Ian just
Feels
faking?
like that's going on the watch list.
You are.
Nah, it feels like it's going on the watch list.
You've not seen Ghost? How?
It just looks a bit schmaltzy. I've never really gravitated towards it.
Are you sure you're a girl?
Are you sure you're a boy?
I've seen Ghost.
Yeah, you watch all sorts of fucking shit rom-coms, though, don't you? Just a Bride Wars, 27 Dresses bullshit.
27 Dresses is a
Good
good
point.
film. Just saying, it is a good film.
I haven't seen a ghost, but I've seen the same person walk past me while I've been running twice, even though they were probably about a quarter mile apart.
Oh,
Simulation.
glitch in the Matrix, simulation.
That is pure simulation shit. But that happened.
You seen a ghost, Becky?
No.
No. I think I saw something that in my youth I thought was a ghost.
Yeah?
Yeah. I probably was just someone who was pissed.
Right.
So I had like a lot of commotion outside I had the box room in my house when I was younger. I heard a lot of commotion one night, like outside.
Because they didn't love you as much as Nicola.
Yeah, I'm fully aware of that. Yeah, I literally had that explained to me quite frequently in my youth.
No wonder you're
hence,
so damaged.
hence the fucking shrine
Yeah.
to my sister that existed in our house. Yeah, but 3 shrines in our house growing up.
And there's just a stick figure drawn on a piece of A4 paper with like a passport.
I'm sure I've covered this before on the podcast.
Oh no, you have the shrine, you have.
Yeah. Yeah, and the one picture of me that wasn't actually me, it was my sister, and my dad just thought it was me.
Oh, babe.
Yeah, I saw this, there was commotion outside, I was banging, and then looked outside my window and saw a figure running and then disappear. Yeah, literally like that.
Wow.
But it was probably just someone who was fucking pissed, and I hadn't realised my eyesight was as bad as it was at the time.
So you reckon they just went outside your sphere of vision?
Yeah. That's what happens. Like, some weird kind of, like, trick of light. It's probably just that.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And then we've got Andrew, lot of numbers. Does Teddy Bear Body Horror have a place as an essentially kids' superhero flick?
What?
I'm not sure I get this question. But that's just what it says, isn't it, Rebecca? I'm not making that up.
Does Teddy Bear Body Horror have a place? Oh, I think he's asking, is it right that they've got all the animal testing shit in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, yes. That's a good point.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes.
I mean, if he's saying that, then
yeah, great,
no.
great, but bordering on thanks. I hate it in parts. Can't
Yeah.
decide whether the fuzzy animal torture
Right.
was a bold, aggressive move or just a cheap audience exploitation. That's a very good point, actually. Yeah.
I don't think it was cheap audience exploitation. I don't know whether it has a place in these movies. 'Cause the Guardians... No, I feel, for me, as a 40 years old tomorrow,
Oh, wow.
woman, it added to the movie. It made it feel more deeper.
Yeah.
But the Guardians movies have always been very, very colourful and family friendly and
Yeah, four quadrant.
But you also do have in the first Guardians movie Peter Quill saying, "You put a backlight around this cockpit and it looked like
one
a Jackson
line.
Pollock."
yeah, but kids just
It's
won't
one
get that.
line. It's one line. And, yeah, kids won't get it. Yeah, like it's you've got something here that's universally understood. A 3-year-old watches some of the images
Yeah.
in
And I
this, and
and
they'll
the thing is,
understand what's happening.
the thing is, I absolutely 100% agree with you on that, and it is why I think we were saying when we were reviewing there that it is one of the few instances where I do think not even at the start of the film, I do think there should have been a warning when you were trying to book your ticket, or what is it, or when you were at the kiosk, they should have had to say to you, "Can I just make you aware there is some animal torture.
It's
Yeah.
and it's interesting. The box office for this, it made in the US about 70 million less than Doctor Strange did in its opening weekend a year ago. Yeah. Did about 110 million. Doctor Strange did 185. Like it's performed, did 30 million less than Volume 2 did. And I think absolutely it's almost Disney going, all right, James Gunn, you've made us a lot of money. This film's not going to lose money. Just do what you want with it. At the same time, I don't see how people, even though Bex, you said you would, but how a wide audience would repeat viewing this.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. Yeah.
Like, I'll watch it with Donna because she wants to watch it and she hasn't yet. But after that, I don't think I'll watch it again because there's shit in it that's just too upsetting. And you know, I like my animals, and I think I probably would have been different pre-Kiki, if I'm being absolutely honest. But man. Animals aren't. They don't want to. A lot of them don't want to hurt anyone, and even when they do hurt someone, it's because they're trying to fucking protect themselves. Like they're.
It's rough.
I don't know.
It's a lot of it. It's not like it's one scene. It's a major part of the plot.
Yeah, and it's just these flashbacks. It's like, and it's the fact that you know what's going to happen, and when they're talking about going off into the big, beautiful sky that goes on forever and ever, it's like. Rocket is, you lot aren't, and I'm really not looking forward to seeing what happens to you. And when it does, it's fucking heartbreaking. It's really, really, really rough.
For me.
But also, you've seen him be fucking chopped up and fucking Little Rocket saying hurts as his first word. Like, honestly, that will probably stay with me for the rest of my fucking life. It sounds like hyperbole. It really fucking
messed you up.
Yeah.
I get that. For me, again, as an adult, it adds to the movie, but these haven't presented as adult movies. Not like porn, I don't mean it that way.
Because there is probably a version of that.
They've not been movies for grown-ups. They have been very family-friendly. And if I was the parent of a young child that really fucking loved 1 and 2,
yeah,
and wanted to go see 3, and I took her,
they're space adventure movies.
And it was this, and she was fucking sobbing because Rocket Raccoon died after having loads of flashbacks about being tortured. I think I'd be pretty fucking angry. Yeah,
do you know what? I think you're all fair. Is what we have to again going back to. Some of my issues with like the upcoming Barbie movie and bits like that is we have to remember these films or a lot of these properties are not solely for people between the ages of 30 and 50.
No. And the thing is that's what I'm getting at. The MCU movies, they're not kids movies. They're comic book movies. They're not kids movies. They're movies for that audience. But some of the franchise, it's sort of franchises within the franchise, this wouldn't feel as out of place because they are naturally darker. This isn't. Guardians isn't. It's froth previously. So yeah, for me it adds to it, but I can definitely see why people would be angry.
Yeah, I can agree with that. We'll do another question. Rick Kidd, if you take one member of the Guardians of the Galaxy and place them in a different film, which one would it be and what film would you drop them in?
Okay, I've got one for this because I saw this question earlier.
Oh, go on.
Okay, Groot.
Yeah, go on.
In T2.
In Terminator 2?
Yeah, replacing the T-1000 and just like as he's getting shot up, just like regenerating like he does.
Fair play. Ian.
What was the question again?
If you could take one member of the Guardians of the Galaxy and place them in a different film, which one would it be and which film would you drop them in?
Rocket Raccoon into Forrest Gump playing Sally Field.
That would be quite amusing. Like, but in my brain, he's dressed up like Sally Field. As Rocket Raccoon just going...
No, I mean...
Just like looking around going, why am I doing this again?
Wearing like a dress and a box hat.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that says dressed as Robin Wright.
See, mine's Rocket Raccoon again, but in the Predator. And he just drops in the Predator.
So is he the Predator?
No.
He's like Arnie.
You know, yeah, he's basically Arnie, yeah.
Okay.
As fighting the Predator.
Predator wouldn't have a chance. Rocket's a fucking badass.
Yeah, but that's it. But my brain's just going, no, not even that. Rocket Raccoon, I never even made this movie. Rocket Raccoon dropped on the planet of the Predators.
Just going after him.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he's pissed off at them about something. They've shot Groot or something like that.
Okay.
Groot's not dead, but they've shot him and Rocket's pissed off.
And also,
So-
he's a bit of a magpie with tech, isn't he? So he'd want that fucking laser sight. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that there. So yeah, so I've watched this
maybe
shit
that's
out
one
of
of the
that.
reasons he's there as well.
And I'm just saying, Disney, you do own the license to Predator. Just saying.
Just saying.
Yeah. Right. What are we covering next week, Ian?
Oh God.
Okay, so yeah, next week it's a little bit of a slow one at the cinema, folks, because apparently Bowie's Afraid and Fast X have to come out the same fucking week.
Yeah, which makes zero fucking sense whatsoever.
God, just I may not get to Bowie's Afraid. I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's really gonna depend on fucking timings because I'm seeing Fast X.
Yeah, that's fine. That if you need to miss one that week, it should be Bowie's Afraid.
Yeah,
I am holding my hand up now and saying I am willing to take the bow on this one.
I am fucking praying that Bowie's Afraid is made available in the next week to week and a half.
Which is a possibility.
Which is a possibility.
So for next week,
we've got the Netflix J-Lo film, The Mother.
Yeah. Can I throw out just a real random, retro review watch?
Go on.
Right? And it's based on something Ian sent me a few weeks ago.
The fuck?
And he said,
Yeah.
I've actually never seen that. And it's not like a big fucking massive movie or anything like that. But I just think it might be quite fun to rewatch. Do you fancy doing a retro review of 2001's Robert De Niro and Ed Norton and Marlon Brando film, The Score?
Oh shit, The Score! I'll watch The Score.
It's it's not a mega long movie. It's within 2 hours, and it's one we can all watch at home, and it'll be fun.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Cool. What, instead of The Mother?
I mean, I'm still going to watch The Mother anyway, so...
I'm probably...
Alright, well, yeah. Alright. Well, yeah. Okay, cool. We can discuss. I feel like maybe it's an opportunity to do a little bit of catch-up, like 65 and Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Yeah.
We could do a bit of a catch-up and The Score, and just whoever watches what, as if two of us have watched it, we'll main review it.
Yeah, I'm down with that. So we'll be reviewing some films and 2001's The Score.
Yeah, so The Score definitely, and some catch-up stuff, maybe The Mother, we don't know, but then the week after we got Fast X.
Yep. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Right, thank you very much,
Right.
Rebecca.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you very much, Ian.
My side's hurting, which means I need to pee.
Thank you very much, listeners. Goodbye.
Bye.